Where in Ghana are you trying to call?
Once upon a time,
In Accra, Cape Coast, Takoradi, or where?
in a tiny office in Washington, D.C., there was a secretary named Peggielene Bartels, whose real-life story unfolded more like a fairy tale.
You're welcome. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
A 30-year veteran employee of the Ghanaian embassy, Peggy, as she's known, had seen her share of drudgery.
Oh, of course, you all know what secretarial job is all about. You know, copying, typing, receiving calls.
But above her desk hangs a picture, a window into her other world.
One day I had a visitor that came here, and as soon as she came in, she said, "Oh, that's a handsome man." I said, "Look at it very well, because that's me." She said, "Oh, Your Royal Highness, I'm sorry, you know." And I have to tell her the story.
It's a story that unfolds more than 5,000 miles away in the West African nation of Ghana. Here, this secretary is revered as Nana, or King. That's right, King Peggy. Choosing a king here in Otwam is a spiritual affair. Peggy's name was on a long list of possibilities. She was the only woman. And after an elaborate selection process that involved making offerings to the gods, it's believed the spirits of her ancestors selected her. As king, she has real power in her village. She can collect taxes and even throw someone in jail. It's a title that's not exclusively male, but she's one of just a few female kings ever in Ghana. Why are you King Peggy? Why not Queen Peggy?
If they have chosen me a queen, I'll be so lousy. I'll be so lousy because my personality is very strong.
You had to be the king.
Yes, I had to be the king.
In her kingdom of 7,000, she's pampered and welcomed with parades. She'd never dreamed of all this. See, Peggy always lived a quiet, humble life.
Alrighty.
Owning a one-bedroom condo in Silver Spring, Maryland, and making her morning commute in an old Honda. But early one morning, back in 2008, she got a life-changing phone call that at first she thought was a prank.
So I said, "Listen, if you don't hang up, I'm going to hang up on you." And then he said, "Oh, no, don't hang up. I'm serious. I'm telling you, you've been chosen as a new king of Otwam."
Wow.
I said, "Wow, a lady king." I said, "Okay, let me think about it."
After all, she hadn't been to Otwam, a fishing village on the coast of Ghana, in years. Her uncle had once been the king here, but Peggy had moved to the U.S. decades ago, even becoming an American citizen in 1997. Why were you thinking you wouldn't want to be the king of this village?
Because it has a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of financial burden. As a king, especially in African town or village, you have to bring improvement to your people.
In Otwam, there was plenty to improve. At the top of the list was the widespread corruption in the fishing industry. Fishmonger Davi Amavochi told us that the village elders had been stealing the tax money. What changed when King Peggy came? Since she's become the king, life has improved, she explained. King Peggy stopped the harassment and regulated the fishing industry. Now an appointed person collects the taxes, and all the money goes into a bank which Peggy established. But the king's work here has just begun. There are very few jobs, and after hauling in the day's catch, we followed some locals to a ditch where they collected water. We watched along with you as that woman dipped her bucket into that dirty water, presumably to drink or bathe in, or use for cooking. Yes. When you see that, your people living like that.
I was sad. And I had tears in my eyes, and I didn't want anyone to see it. So I left the place.
When she saw the dirty water yesterday, she was very close to tears. I think she was crying, but it's not permissible to see a king cry.
Author Eleanor Herman first met Peggy at a Ghanaian embassy party back in 2009. Fascinated by her story, Eleanor asked if she could visit Otuam. Their trip became the basis for an article in the Washington Post magazine.
It's a modern-day Cinderella story.
Eleanor and Peggy also decided to write a book, which will be released later this month.
Now she has a purpose in life. She always wanted to have children. She couldn't do it. And it was a great disappointment to her. And she likes to say, now I have 7,000 of them.
The story turned this author into an activist. She donated enough money to build a well for Otuam.
Father, in the name of your Son Jesus, we thank you.
Peggy's story also inspired the members of the suburban D.C. Shiloh Baptist Church, who, along with the local Masons, raised the $7,000 to put in another well.
It's given her a true sense of purpose. And don't we all want to feel that we're helping others, that we're really doing something important, rather than just working to pay our bills and come home and go to sleep?
How much time do you spend here in America thinking about what's going on in Ghana?
Every day, every hour, every second.
Peggy admits she doesn't get much sleep anymore. She wakes up every morning at 1 a.m. to call Otuam and saves up all of her vacation days to spend a month there each year.
Small thing comes to my mind, I have to call them. So it's like the whole day, I have to think of Otuam and my people.
The story of Otuam may not end with happily ever after, but just try telling that to King Peggy.
I'm really a woman on a mission, a king on a mission, an individual on a mission, and I have to accomplish my mission.